Greetings from St. David's Church. On Wednesday, Christians from all over the world will enter into the holy season of Lent. On the first day of Lent, we have Ash Wednesday, where we remember that God has created us out of dust and that to dust we will return. We also have conversation about the sinfulness that are part of our life, that our brokenness, or what keeps us separated from God and from our true selves. But in God's kingdom, we put God first, and all the things of this life come to us. And so in this season of Lent, it's not only a time for us to deal with some of the disorder in our lives or places that we'd like to improve, like a New Year's resolution. It's also a time to go deeper into the life in God, to spend more time in prayer, to listen for God, to spend more time doing for others so that they may be lifted up to a level place, and for us as a community to grow together in friendship and love. And so in this holy season of Lent, I invite you to pay attention to your spiritual life, to use the meditation book that's been written by members of our staff and our vestry and parishioners, but also to look at your own life, see what you are focused on. And if it's other than God, to turn your life, to open it up to God a little bit more so that God may empower you to a life that's really life. There are three things I'd like all of us to think about in Lent. The first is that we have a God who loves us so much that when we sin or fall away, God forgives us and lifts us up to the right place. The second thing I'd like us all to pay more attention to and learn about in Lent is our life of prayer. The prayer is a persistent activity, and it connects us to God and to one another and to the world in a magnificent way. And the third aspect of Lent that I'd like us all to pay attention to is that we are walking with God every day. And in Lent, as we walk more and more with God, we will be filled with the Spirit and a grace and a goodness that we may not know otherwise. In this season of Lent, I'm going to be teaching a 5-week course on servant leadership. Servant leadership is the style of leadership that Jesus teaches his followers as a way for them to stay connected to God and make a difference in the world. I think one of the distinctions about servant leadership from other leadership is that it's not focused on hierarchy or position. It's really focused on getting the job done, whatever the task is, whether it's raising a family, being part of a church, being at school, being on some team or choir, or your own work. Servant leaders are people who use their gifts for the good of all. And as a result, they may not receive the fame and notoriety that some leaders receive, but they'll get the job done. And that's what Jesus is most interested in. The course is open to everyone. We're focusing primarily on adults in this first round of the servant leadership course. And I believe that every one of us, whatever age we are, will benefit from understanding what servant leadership means and how we can apply those qualities and that way of life into our daily living. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.